Hi, fellow readers and writers. Today I'm going to be doing a really interesting interview. I'm going to be talking to Peter Rimmer's daughter, Heather. Now, Peter Rimmer is an author who's written at least 6 or 7 books. He lives in South Africa. I had sent him a message on Facebook and asked him if he wanted to be interviewed, and I got a response from his daughter, and she said, why don't I do it? Because it's difficult for him, and I guess she is his publicist. So we're going to be talking to Heather, and then I'll talk to you at the end of this interview. So everyone, here is Heather. Hi everyone, I am so excited to be talking today to author Peter Rimmer's daughter, Heather. And this is unusual for us, so we're just going to go with it. Peter has written many, many books. I think 7, if I counted right.
And many more coming.
And many more coming. Yeah, he is a writer. And I had asked him on Facebook if he would come on here. And then I got a response from Heather saying, he doesn't really talk to anyone, but I'll talk to you. And I'm like, okay, we'll talk.
Yeah.
We'll talk about him. It'll be fun.
Yes. Sounds good.
I was looking on his website, which I don't know.
Yeah.
Do you run his website?
Yes,
Okay.
we do. Yeah.
Okay.
My son has designed that website. Yeah.
Oh, it's crazy. Like, because his life, I have been doing so many interviews about World War II books right now. And
Right. Okay.
reading his, just what he's done in his life.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh my God, this is kind of what I've been reading about. And he lived it. Like, he was there,
Yes, very much so. Yeah, he definitely lived it. And his memory about it is quite phenomenal, actually, because he comes up with things like the doodle bugs coming over London. And I love history, but I didn't really know what doodle bugs were. But he's got a tremendous memory. And I think that's what really helps his writing. So, yeah.
Right. So,
really
okay, he was born in 1937. So
that's right. Yeah.
When it was saying like he was a World War II, well, he was a pilot, not in World War II, and he wasn't a pilot. He was something. What do you guys call it? It's something different.
Well, he actually wasn't a pilot, but he was an officer in the RAF,
Okay.
and basically he was one of the youngest, I think, at that time to become.
Right, 37.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, he was only 18, I think, at the time. So, but it was basically monitoring photographically what the pilots were taking and then plotting photographs or something to that effect. But yeah, it was quite unusual, the type of work that he did. But he desperately wanted to be a pilot, but it just, because of his eyesight, he couldn't.
Right.
So that's how they drafted him into the photography reconnaissance. That's the word I want. So yeah.
Well, that's pretty, that's pretty important too,
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, for that
definitely.
time.
Yeah.
But, because I was reading his story, and everybody, you need to go to his website, because if you're the one doing it, it's beautiful. I love a good website. And,
thanks.
websites are really kind of going out. I mean, not a lot of people, I don't want to say out, because I really think a lot of authors have them, but you just don't see them as much because there's other forms of media now. And so people don't automatically just go to the website. But you did his website so well because it tells his stories, and I love the pictures, and since he was a photographer, and I was like, looking at those pictures, and it's so cool. And I was thinking, that little girl in the one picture, is that you? It is.
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah.
Oh, that's so
definitely.
cute. But you laid out his story, like, so I'm reading it, and I was just like, this is a book. He should write this. He should write
Well, actually, I think a lot of what his books are about is bits of his life and the people that come in and out of his life. So, a lot of it, what you've read, is part of his stories, very much so, and obviously a hell of a lot more. So, yeah.
Right. So he ended up going to South Africa, and then, is it South Africa? I'm sorry, maybe.
No, he ended up going to what was then called Rhodesia, which is now Zimbabwe. And it was all through his mother's cousin, who had been in Burma during the Second World War, but had also been, for some reason, had got out to Rhodesia. And he came back to England after the war, telling his 2 second cousins, his cousins' sons, all about this country called Rhodesia that was just waiting to be farmed and occupied, and not occupied, that's the wrong word, but to be colonized. And, the British people, the British government were really encouraging people to go out to Rhodesia. And my dad and his brother just got the bug from him. And after the war, after my dad left the RAF and done his commission, he just decided, yeah, let's go and do it. And they got on a ship. I think it was 1957 on Independence Day, U.S. Independence Day.
I saw that.
Yeah,
July 4th. Yep.
yeah. And off they went. And basically, they never returned. They came back on the odd occasion. But they got bitten by Africa, and they both fell in love with it. And my uncle decided he wanted to do the farming side of it, and my dad didn't really quite fit into it. And he just went into insurance, which is what his father did back in England before he died. And that was the beginning of their odyssey in Africa.
So were you born in Africa?
I was born in Rhodesia at that time. Yes,
okay.
Yeah, I was. Okay. So a lot of what he writes, I really have a good vision of it,
right.
and can really relate to it as well.
When did you move back to England?
I went back to England in 1985 with my ex-husband, and we lived there for nearly 7 years. And then my ex-husband decided, no, he's got to go back to Africa, and that's what we did. But we went to South Africa this time because by that stage, Rhodesia wasn't Rhodesia anymore. It was a different country altogether. So yeah, we went to South Africa instead, and I lived there for 10 years, and then came back to England after a 10-year stint there. Built a career, and as I was building my career, my dad kept nagging me, wanting me to get involved with his books because I was in IT. And I kept saying, oh, no, I can't do that. I've got kids to bring up, because by that stage I was on my own.
Right.
And, he just nagged and nagged. And until eventually, about 5 years ago, I suddenly thought, you know what? I'm getting to the end of my IT career. I've had enough of it. I want to really focus now on my dad. And that's how it started to happen.
Wow.
So, yeah.
Yeah, he's very blessed to have you because, you've taken his books and you've published them and gotten them out there. And, and it's interesting because my story is kind of the same with my kids. Like, I kept trying to do this on my own, and I was like, I don't know what I'm doing. You have to help me. And finally, I got help. But, so I was like, as I was reading that, I'm like, that sounds like me. I was like, I can only do this part. And he can do the writing. I can do the reading and the interviewing, but I can't do the other stuff that's required, to be able to make this happen. And, his books, the reason I asked him to be on here is like when I'm a very fast reader. Okay. I would put that in that I have to be, but I am by nature. Right. Yeah. But when I was started to read his books, and so I'm, reading it like I usually read it, but then I found myself, I kept going back and I was like, wow, because when you're a fast reader, I don't care what anybody says that. And I've heard people say, oh no, I read every word and I read 3 books a day. No, you're not. Yeah. No. Yeah. You're just, it's not true. There's no way. So I will read, I will pick out things and I've learned different techniques, but I kept going back and then back because I wanted to read his descriptions. And that is a huge compliment because I can tell you, there are a lot that, I'm just skipping, skip descriptions, go to dialogue, go to, relevant, but his phrasing and I felt like I was there and I kept going back and going, wow, he is a great writer. Like his writing is so unique, because even though he has long descriptions, it's like you want to read them because you want to get into that world. And I'm not the only one because I have read reviews of it. I went back and looked up his reviews and other people have said that about his writing.
Yes. Well, it's funny you should say that because there's one scene, I forget which book it is, but he describes how the skies in Africa at night was like a milkmaid had thrown milk up into the sky and created the Milky Way. And I actually felt really emotional when I first read that bit and felt quite tearful because I thought, my God, I would never have thought to have written something in such a way. So, I agree with him. As you say, some people have also said you can actually smell the bush and you can hear the animals. as you read those descriptions. And even in England, some of the English descriptions are exactly the same.
Yeah,
So yeah,
and especially, I've never been to Africa. For
yeah,
me, excuse me, I'm in Eastern Pennsylvania. That thought of that is like so far, like it's another world to me.
yeah, yeah,
It's such an exotic thing to think about that it's hard for me to even like. I do know some people who've traveled there, but it's like for
yeah,
me, I would think like if I could travel anywhere, it wouldn't be there because there's so many other things I'd want to see. But
yeah,
when after reading his books, I was like, wow, it sounds so beautiful, and he
yeah,
doesn't skip. Some people put it in as filler. Like they put
yes,
in descriptions as a filler to get the story moving. And I feel like with him, he takes his time to really set you there, that you
yeah,
feel like you are
yeah,
there. And
yeah.
without it, you couldn't be there, you know?
That's right. Yeah, yeah. No, I agree with you.
So
And
I,
so I'm going to ask a question back at you then. How did you feel with the numerous characters throughout the books that you've read? How did you cope with that? Because a lot of people have said, "My God, there's such a myriad of characters. How do I keep up with them?"
well, I tell you what, he did either he or you, whoever at the end of the book, when you list the characters,
Yeah.
okay, that helps a lot.
Okay.
Okay. That
Right. Good.
definitely, because for me, I need to know how they're related.
Yeah.
And so I need a little, and I stumbled upon it because I went to the back to read about him. And then
Yes.
I got to see that and I was like, oh, good. Oh, good. This is going to
Yeah.
help, and
Yeah.
so I could put it in my mind like, oh, okay, so and so is related. So that helped me. So I
Yeah.
think it was, as long as you can do that, because
Yes.
I just recently read another book where they did that too, and they had a lot of characters, and it's like if you can make just that little cast of characters, and then as I'm reading it, I'll go back and look and
Yes.
go, oh, okay, yeah, I
Yeah.
got it, and then
Yeah.
because that is really helpful for me.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
don't know if every
Good.
reader feels that way, but yeah, if they feel like
Yeah.
it's too much, I suggest they just keep going back to that cast of
Yeah.
characters and looking
Yeah.
at the names, and just for me, it's the relationship. I forget
Yes.
how they're related.
That's right. Yeah.
you
I
know
agree. I agree. Yeah.
because when
Yeah.
you are dealing with more than two characters in a book and you are dealing with families, you start to forget, like,
Yeah.
wait, how are they
Who's?
related, how are
Yeah.
so
Exactly.
that's
Yeah.
what I do it. And like I said, I read them fairly quickly, so some people, they'll go back to it, like it might take them longer, so then they kind of forget. I think that
Yeah.
so I didn't have a long time to do the forgetting thing as somebody
Yeah.
who was gonna like read a chapter or two and then go back to it a week later or go back. But it was
Yeah.
brilliant of you to do that, if that was
Yeah.
your idea.
Yeah. No, it seemed the right thing to do. That's for sure. Because
Yes.
even I was starting to get a bit lost. So yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I've seen authors do that when you're dealing with a story. I don't have a problem with dealing with the story of families, as long as I
Yeah.
know the inner workings of the family and exactly like cousins and all that
Yeah.
stuff. I
Yeah.
don't have a problem with that as long as I
No.
can get that to look at. And then I'm like,
Yeah.
and you also did the places
Yes.
and
Yes.
one of the, was it
Because
terms? There was one other thing too,
yeah,
and
and
that really
philosophy as
helped
well.
too. Yeah, just because
Yeah.
like I said, I've never been there, so
Yeah.
that really helped me put it
Yeah.
in a place, and I would
Yeah.
still probably go look at a map, because I
Yeah.
want to see where it was. But
Yeah.
yeah, for
Well, that's good because I kind of thought, well, hopefully a lot of our readers are not just going to be African readers who will
right,
know these places.
right.
The idea is to reach as many people across the world, and obviously, those two sections will definitely help. So as did you. So yeah,
Yes. Yeah, and I
yeah,
found him on Facebook. I get suggestions on authors
yeah,
because I'm on so many author sites. And
yeah.
so I'm assuming, are you doing his social media for him?
Yeah, we do the social media as well. Everything under the sun. It is the most complex thing I have ever done in my life. I mean, when people say to me, well, what do you do for a living? I say, well, I actually publish my father's novels. And they say, oh, okay. And that's it.
And
And
you're
I
like,
think,
no.
oh my God, you have no idea what's involved because all my father's novels are handwritten. So and you've seen how long they are, and it's a hugely time-consuming process. So I used to type them because I am a touch typist, and then it got to the point where, yes, I'm quite accurate, but there can be a lot of inaccuracy with that. So I started to use drag and dictate, and I now dictate the manuscripts. But then, you've got to then read through all that again, and then there's editing that's got to happen, and then it's got to go to proofreaders, and so it's not
Yeah.
just, yeah, it's all about putting the book together. But then, as you mentioned, the social media, it's all that involved, and then getting the books onto the right platforms. It's incredible how busy we are.
Yeah, and I was talking to an
Incredible.
author yesterday, and we talked
Yeah,
quite a lot about social media because I
yeah,
really don't. I think that it's changing so fast. Like, it's not
very.
just about an author sitting down and writing a book, okay, and
No,
then giving it to a publicist and then let them, the authors have to. Now, you do his engagement, but, for the other
yes,
authors I talk to, like, they have to get so involved on like Instagram and Facebook, and those places are getting.
yeah,
My daughter does her research, like I said, I couldn't do it without her. She has to do
yeah,
research on those platforms to find out when to post, because if she posts at the wrong time, you get
yeah,
one view, okay?
absolutely.
And
Yeah,
you can have,
yeah,
5,000 followers and get one view
yeah,
because they want you to pay, they want you to boost
absolutely.
stuff, and it's getting to be like trying to get around these business
Yeah,
things is it's no easy task. So
no,
I
it's
know
not.
what, on top of what you're doing with his, with typing the books out and public,
Yeah,
getting them out there and making them public, but the social media itself, and like I said, I
time
found him on
consuming.
Facebook, so you need Facebook and you
Yeah,
need these places, but it
yeah,
is time consuming. It's
very, very time
incredibly.
consuming. Yeah,
You could get
yeah,
yourself so like she goes to these like webinars online just to find out like how for LinkedIn and Instagram, like how to do it. And you know what?
yes,
It changes all the time. It changes.
yes,
It's like every 6 months something happens and it
yeah.
changes again.
Well, I don't know if you heard of Mark Dawson. He's another author,
Mm-hmm.
a very well-known big self-publishing author. He's changed, I'm going to say, thousands of authors' lives. He's English, and he has shown people how to advertise on Facebook. And he's written courses, online courses, for people to do that type of advertising, Twitter, YouTube, how to actually get your book going and how to edit it, all
Oh,
sorts of different things. Oh my God, he is absolutely, as far as we're concerned, he's changed the way, um, or my understanding at least, in how you do Facebook advertising, how you do Amazon advertising. Um, so yeah, it's thank God for him, because I think we would have been a lot, further back in the process of getting my father's novels out there.
yeah.
He's made that huge difference for us.
Right. Yeah, and
So yeah,
it's something that now you have to stay so on. It's not like you go and learn it and you've learned it. It's like a
yeah, no,
constant learning.
constantly changing.
Yeah,
Yeah,
constantly.
yeah, very fast.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you know, but of course Zuckerberg has changed the algorithms of the way Facebook is going to operate. So the way we've been advertising on Facebook, that's going to change. And you were talking about the amount of views that you have on a post. It's all changing. So it's like, oh God, can you just slow it down? We've only just got to that stage,
I
and we've learned
know.
that bit. And
I
but,
know. I have to tell you, Instagram, I'm loving Instagram right now
right, okay,
because they don't have that. You just see whatever somebody posts. Facebook
yes,
controls posts
yeah,
very. I don't want to say deceptively, but it feels
yeah,
deceptive,
yeah, yeah,
And you
yeah,
don't want to say, like, sometimes I get so mad at Facebook, I like exit out. I'm like, I'm done. I
yeah,
can't Facebook
yeah,
today.
yeah. I know what you mean. Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
Because as people
exactly.
doing business, we'll just find, and that's what's happening. Did you ever hear of Gary Vaynerchuk?
No, can't say I
He's
have.
an American. You should look him up. He's Russian, but he keeps on top of social media too on his pages, and he'll say,
Right.
like do this, do that, like so he's kind of like that guy for you, but he's he
Yes.
kind of keeps us on top of like what's going
Right.
on, and
Okay.
so it's like that's fun. But anyway, so
Good.
I just want to tell everybody because of talking about your dad's books, just so they understand. He has like a series, and then he
Yeah.
does standalone novels. Okay.
That's right. Yeah.
So, when he's writing these, like, because I'm trying to envision, because you are so far away, and thank God for
Yes.
technology. But if he's
Yeah.
handwriting these, how do you get them?
Good question. So, my husband and I went to South Africa because that's where he lives in 2014, and that's when I made the decision I was going to actually do the publishing for him. and all his novels were in a cupboard. And so we took back with us to England, I think, 6. They're massive. Each novel's very, very big. So we managed to get 6 into a suitcase, into hand luggage, because I didn't want to let this precious cargo go
Right.
into the hold. So we did that, and then we went the next year again, and I brought back another 6 or 7 or maybe 8, and that's how we got them back. So, but the first 2 novels that we did publish, they were actually published in the late 90s by HarperCollins
Hmm.
in Zimbabwe.
Yeah, and I saw those. There are 2 books in 93 and 97. Two
That's right,
standalone.
yeah.
Okay.
And they were very successful in Zimbabwe at that time. And my dad thought, great, I've made it. He's been writing since his 20s. And he thought, I've done it.
Right.
I've got my books published, and they're going to go worldwide. And sadly, it didn't happen, because Zimbabwe really went Pete Tong, as I say. And nothing happened. And HarperCollins actually eventually closed their offices in Zimbabwe. So that's when it all went dead, until I actually republished them in 2014. So I didn't have to really transform those into digital, because they were already in paperback formats. I just scanned them and managed to get them back into a digital format. Whereas all the others subsequently, I've had to type. So,
Wow.
or to dictate. So yeah. So as you said earlier, there are 7 novels currently published, and I think we've got another 25-ish to go.
What?
Yeah, yeah. So
Oh
there's
my
a hell of a
God.
lot to go. So in the Brigginshaw Chronicles, the series, at the moment there are 17, and he's writing the 18th at the moment.
Okay, so there was one published. There's 3 of them: 15, 16, and 17. Okay, the years that they were published. So, are you trying to do a book a year for him?
No, I'm really trying to get to 2 a year, if
Okay.
not, but it's, as you've heard me say, it's a hell of a process. So I don't know whether we'll get 3 out this year. I'd like to, but we're also going into audio as well. So I'm working with a guy who's doing the narrating at the moment on Cry the Fish Eagle, and that's a hell of a process, because I get his audio and then I've got to go through it to review it. So yeah, I'd like to get 2 out at least this year, if not 3, but I'm not sure it's going to be doable.
Well, I do think it's
Yeah,
very smart to do the audio, because I listen to a
yeah,
lot of audio, and I know
yeah,
when I went on his, I was like, oh, because I like to do
yeah,
the whisper sync now, where you
yes,
get the Kindle
yeah,
audio hookup.
yeah,
That's how
yeah,
I live my life, because I have to do this
yeah,
all the time. And I mean, I love a good hardback. I love a hardback. Okay, but
yeah,
that's just
yeah,
not my life right now. And so I'm constantly doing Kindle and audio. But I know a lot of people, and if you get a good audio person, it can make
yeah,
a world of difference, because
yeah,
it brings the book to life. And there is so
absolutely.
much description, and you get a guy that can really like tell the
Yeah,
story. It's gonna be amazing. You know.
yeah, yeah.
So
Well, we were quite lucky, because I don't know if you know, we live in Portugal now. So
I thought you were in England.
yeah, no, Portugal. Sorry. Yeah, we live in Portugal. We moved here just over a year ago, and
Do you
so that
speak
I could really
Portuguese?
settle down and work.
Do you speak Portuguese?
Uh, uh, pouco, which means a little.
Okay.
No, trying to learn, but no.
Okay.
So where was I going with that? Yeah, so I went on one of our local forums, and I said, "Is there a narrator out there who can help me start working on one of my father's novels?" And this guy popped up, and he is an actual professional narrator, and he's fabulous. So
Yeah.
yeah, can't wait to get that out.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
like I said, Amazon's doing such a great job, because they give such
Hmm.
good deals on their Audibles. I couldn't
Yeah.
I buy them in bulk. I buy the Audible
Yeah.
credits in bulk, and then just use them like that. So I think you're
Yeah.
going to see such an increase in
Yeah.
sales, because people love a good audio.
Yeah.
So that's
Yeah.
great. But okay, so I'm just trying to comprehend your work here, because I've
Yeah.
never heard. So he's like writing. So he just writes, basically.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I mean, in
And
order to
it's
put out
so
that volume of books, like, he just writes and writes and writes and writes. And
yeah.
wow.
Well, he's been writing, I'd say, methodically for about the last 25, 26 years. And it takes him roughly around about a year to 18 months to complete a book.
Wow.
So that kind of gives you an idea. And each book is roughly around about 160 to 170,000 words.
Yeah, I was going to tell everybody, just so they understand, these are 400-page books. These are not,
Yeah,
250.
yeah,
This is a
no,
400-page book, and his words, it's and like I said, it's huge words, huge amount of
yeah,
words per in those
yeah,
400 pages.
yeah,
So
very much so.
yeah,
Yeah,
I'm just
yeah,
picturing him just like sitting and just writing and writing and writing,
yeah.
and then he gives it off to you, and.
I know. It's quite amazing. I know, but it's really exciting, and I think at this time of my life, I feel quite privileged because he's given me something to do for the rest of my life,
Oh my God,
and
yeah,
and I'm
yeah.
so passionate. And my biggest wish is that before he dies, which is terrible to say, but he's going to be 81 this year. I just want him to really know well and truly that he has absolutely made it as an author. He is well known, he's not going to be forgotten. And
Yeah.
that's my wish, that's my passion.
That's so awesome.
Um,
Because when we first connected and you said, I
yeah,
know about my dad's books, I was thinking, oh, she's read her dad's books. Like she can
yeah,
talk about them. But it
yeah,
isn't like that. You know them very intimately and
very
you're
well, very
a huge
intimately.
part of everything
Yeah,
that he's doing. That is
yeah,
crazy. Yeah, he will.
yeah,
I mean, yeah, the legacy he's leaving behind and for you to be working,
yeah.
you'll never have to do anything else besides work on
No,
his, what he's
no.
done. Did you want
And
to
my,
write?
pardon?
Do you want to be a writer? Is that something you want to do?
No, no, I
No.
can't do it. My son keeps nagging me to try and do it, but no. I did technical writing of software, but no, definitely not a fiction author at all. No, absolutely not. But my son is, as I said earlier, he's got involved in the business in the last 5 6 months,
That's awesome.
and so this will be his career as well. And he's he's doing the designing side, and as you've seen, he's done the website, and he's also getting involved in the marketing. So between the pair of us, we work long hours of the day,
That's
and it's good.
crazy. I love
Yeah,
family businesses. I've always wanted,
yeah,
to do that I just didn't know what I wanted to do with it. Because I
yeah.
have 6 children and I didn't know how. I always
Wow.
pictured us like, everybody has their own talents and you can
Yeah,
use, all of that. And,
yeah, yeah,
so it's,
yeah,
I think that's amazing. And so, and the
yeah.
covers, I wanted to ask you before we go, we're running over, but it's
Yes.
okay. Who does the covers?
Well, we've had a designer,
Mm-hmm.
fabulous designer, and but just because my son's got involved, he loves art and he's very much into designing himself. He's actually taking over the cover design, so he's actually redesigning the Brickenshaw Chronicles at the moment because we want to make them really consistent.
Mm-hmm.
Because at the moment they don't come together as
Right,
such.
right.
And so that's what he's currently working on. And going forward, he will be doing the design. Yeah,
Yeah, and that's another thing. You don't think that it's so important, but I know with the authors, the books that I get of theirs, like
yeah,
if they look consistent, and then
yeah.
you don't even have to look like to see what that author is because you're like,
That's
oh,
right.
I know that art, I know that
Yeah,
look,
yeah, exactly.
and so it
Yeah,
is another aspect that's so
yeah.
important,
Extremely important. Yeah, it makes or break you.
especially when you
Yeah.
go into Barnes and Noble and like when they have the lines of books. I mean, I can tell it's weird.
Yes,
As a reader,
absolutely.
you're like, I know that cover, I know that, I know.
Yeah,
Or if that,
yeah.
say you get another book out, if that cover is similar, you'll be like, oh, that's a Peter Rimmer book.
That's right.
You know,
Exactly. So that's what we're doing, and we're starting to work to get my son to do the covers. It's better that way because we know the books deeply, whereas a designer doesn't necessarily kind of know deeply about the story. So therefore, we can really be really hard on ourselves and say, no, that's not going to work, or that is working. So for us, I think it's working out quite well.
well,
Yeah,
his last book, I think his last book was Just the Memory of Love,
yeah,
September, okay, of
yeah.
2017. Okay, and when is the next one coming out?
Well, I'm starting to work alongside doing the audio review. It's going to be the fourth in the Brickenshaw Chronicles, so that will be To the Manor Born.
Okay.
And I'm halfway through doing the transcribing of that. So I'm hoping, I don't want to commit myself horribly, but I'm hoping in the next 2 or 3 months, but that might be a bit wishful thinking. It might be a bit after that. But
Well,
yeah,
you know what? If you let me know, we can do this again when that book comes
yeah,
out because I really didn't know what it was going to be like. I had no idea. Like this is the first time I've ever talked to somebody other than the author. But
yeah,
when you have it out and you want to do the media for it, we can
Yeah,
talk and get that out there. I'd
fabulous.
I'd love
Thank you
to.
very much.
Yeah, that
Yeah,
would
that'd
be a
be
lot of
great. I'd love
fun.
to do that.
Yeah, because I
Yeah,
didn't know, like, you knew, like I said before, I was like, oh, she's read his books. Like, okay,
yeah, yeah, exactly. No, there's a lot more to the story.
exactly. So, well, best
Yeah,
of luck to you. And
thank you
that
very
was
much.
so very cool. I'm so happy we met.
Me too.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been
So,
lovely talking to you.
okay,
Yeah.
awesome, Heather.
All
Thank
right.
you.
Okay.
Bye
Thanks,
bye.
then.
Yep. Bye
Bye
bye.
bye.
So, as you can see, that was so much fun. That is the first time I ever talked to a family member of the author instead of the author. And I just didn't know what to expect. But I mean, she was amazing. I really hope we talk again when the next book comes out of Peter Rimmer's. And so, guys, if you liked watching us, please hit like. And if you want to subscribe and watch my videos every day, just hit the subscribe button. Thank you for watching.